Now let's move down to Cape Town. Despite 2,700 soldiers continuing their deployment, Cape Flats residents say they won't make much of a difference on the ground where they live. Murder and other violent crimes have been on the increase over the festive season. Residents say much more needs to be done, especially around witness protection. Ronald Masinda joins us from Cape Town with the very latest. Hello, Ronald. So you've been around several crime hotspots on the Cape Flats today. Judging reaction to the news that the president has decided to keep army in certain areas, what are residents saying to you?
Hello, Sally. Well, the word from residents on the Cape Flats is that they feel that gangs and criminals are still running the streets. I mean, take today, for example, on our way to one of our interviews in eNCA, we witnessed a car hijacking taking place right before us, and this was in broad daylight. And people on the ground say this is the norm. In Manenberg, in one of the areas that we visited earlier, we were told that yesterday the body of a teenager, 19-year-old, was found dumped in a rubbish bin. And many residents say that there were witnesses during that crime when it took place, and they know the culprit. But the fear is that when they take up these issues, when they report such cases to the police, they become victims. And one of the biggest issues on the Cape Flats, which was highlighted by a MACO member for Safety and Security, JP Smith, is that there are around 9,000 firearms on the Cape Flats, and this is one of the main reasons why there are so many killings still reported on the Cape Flats. We spoke to a member, an activist who's been a witness to one of the serious crimes in Manenberg, and she's since been in hiding because she had her life being threatened several times by the gang member who was arrested. This is what she had to say.
I was a witness. I witnessed a brutal assault that resulted in a murder, and I stepped up and I testified in the court. The sadness of it all, I have become a victim of the system that are not really there for our people. The gang leader I testified against and his co-accused were released. Up till today, I don't know what his conditions were. After they have shot through my whole house, I'm not able to live. Me and my family had to leave our house immediately. The safety protection that the state offers is only until you finish testifying, then you're on your own. So by the grace, I have been protected by an international organization, the Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime. And if it were not for them for the last 3 years, I'm unable to live in Manenberg as such. And the state does not help you. I had to fight to get my children back into school. My children had to fight to find their feet again. For the first time, they have found contract work. And so, yes, it frightens the people to step up and speak up because the state are not protecting them. The police are not protecting them. And last week, like Amina said, another murder took place. Again, it was up to the gang to solve the problem because it retaliates in gang violence amongst each other.
So many problems. You also spoke to the mother of 29-year-old Monique Jacobs, who was killed. Just remind us about that awful situation and how the mom feels about the redeployment of the army.
So, Sally, very interestingly, the area that they come from is Bonteheuwel. Now, just in terms of the success story of the army that was deployed there around 2019, is that before the army was deployed in 2019 in areas such as Bonteheuwel, Bonteheuwel averaged around 30 murders a month. And now, when the army was deployed and there was a lot of army presence, that number reduced drastically. In another month, we heard of just one murder a month, and then we started not hearing of any reported murders. But in recent months, gang violence has certainly flared up in Bonteheuwel. And it's a sad story about Monique Jacobs. She was gunned down on the 12th of December in a crossfire when rival gangs were shooting at each other. But what makes the story particularly sad, Sally, is that a 6-year-old daughter witnessed this crime, and according to the grandmother of this daughter, of Monique's daughter, is that she's now being targeted, the 6-year-old, by these gangs. This is her story.
Actually, I don't know nothing about what is going on. The killer is outside. He's roaming around our streets. I look at him. Wherever I go, I see him. All I want to know is why is he outside? Why isn't he like in jail for my daughter's murder? Because everybody knows it was him. And what is the police actually doing about the situation? I've got nothing, no answers, nothing. I know nothing. And I mean, it's not right because he's a killer, man. He killed my daughter. He killed her while she was on her way home with the child. He killed her. He knows her, man. She's not a person that he don't know, but he knows who she is.
Oh, this is absolutely tragic, Ronald. So the 6-year-old who witnessed their own mother dying is now potentially being targeted by the killer who's still at large. Let's hope that the SANDF, their continued presence on the Cape Flats, makes a difference. Thank you for that update. Tragic though it is, Ronald Masinda, our reporter in Cape Town.